Okay, we're recording. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another session for the Opportunity Funds program. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about school forms in general. And so we're going to start with the session talking about what are the important information that you're going to be requesting the teachers at your school. Okay? So everyone can see my screen? Yes? Great. So the documents that we're going to be talking about today's these four, okay? So letters of recommendation, not documents, but the topics. Letters of recommendation, the common application, how are the teachers are going to be using it, how would the opportunity program work with the letters of recommendation, and then school profiles. So these documents are very important and are a part of your application. And what you need to do is to really pay attention today and take notes because there's a lot of details that I'm going to be giving you today. So all the letters of recommendations that you're going to be requesting from your school needs to come on branded paper. What is that? Papel timbrado with the logo of the school. It needs to have a date and it needs to say to whom it may concern because we're not going to be putting down the name of the schools that you're applying to. Okay, so this letter of recommendation is going to go to all the schools that you're applying to. So that's why we cannot do every single one. We have to change the letterhead. Okay, so that's why it needs to be very patternized. So each school will receive the same letter. Okay, so the letter of recommendation needs to be a formal introduction of yourself to the school. So it needs to contain all these three things to make it official. Okay, and it needs to be signed, dated, and it needs to have the information who wrote it. So whoever is going to be writing your letters need to sign just in regular pen, and then down below the signature it needs to state what they are. If they are an English teacher, if they are a theater teacher, if they're a math, or if they're the coordinator or the pedagogy specialist. So it needs to say what the position that they're currently holding. Okay, and since it's going to come from the school, that's all they need to put down. So sign and date and the position that who wrote the letter. Okay, Artur, this it's not like a template, but this session is going to be recorded, so you can take a look at it, or you can do print screen right now of these so that you know what to ask. Okay. And at the bottom of the letter, usually, or at the top, the school information is already on the branded letter. So if it's not, you can ask the school to put down at the bottom so that the university can have their contact information. Okay. Alfredo, hang on to some of these questions. I'm going to answer them. Okay. So I'm just going to go through all of this. I'm going to answer them at the end. Okay. Now, what is a letter of recommendation? So basically, the teachers are going to be writing about you. We have to sort of teach them what it is that's a letter of recommendation because that's something that's a very American thing, right? Here in Brazil, we usually ask for a reference. So usually for a job reference or things like that, usually the people just put down their phone number and then the employer can go and call them. But for universities and for jobs in the US, usually write a letter of recommendation. And so in your cases, it's going to be written by teachers, guidance counselors, coordinators, pedagogy specialists from your schools, and they have to be a positive letter, right? So whenever you ask someone to write you a letter, it needs to be someone that you feel that you're close to and that they will say positive things about you. Remember during the workshop where we did that reading application, we saw the application that had a letter of recommendation that was not very positive. And so that's why you need to really think deeply in who you're going to invite, because they need to discuss your academic accomplishments, efforts in the classroom, and your personal character. So all of these three things, only a teacher that's very close to you and know who you are on a daily basis will be able to write about, giving examples. Okay. So a letter of recommendation is going to give a face to the application. So whenever the person is reading, they are able to sort of form this story of you, right? And so this is what's going to, this is how you're going to be requesting it. Okay. And why is this important? Like I said, it's a face to your application, and it will show them how your application makes sense based on the grades that you took, that you had during high school, during the test taking prep, and so it gives them a background information. Okay. And it's a testament to your character. So it's not going to only be based on academic achievement. As in the previous slide, it said it's going to based on character. So if you're a good person, if you are you like to work in a team, if you tutor others, if you've worked in different community projects, so it's going to give them an overview of everything. Okay. And like I said, who you should be asking these letters. So you need to ask someone that really knows you. And one of the things that sometimes the students ask is like, oh, I'm just going to ask for the director of the school or the principal because they have the highest chair. So if that letter comes from them, surely the university is going to think like I'm amazing, right? So that's the problem. You need to think of people who you have that daily connection. So if you are a math whiz and you really enjoy math and you've done tutoring in math and you work at the math lab in your school, so you really know the teacher, they really know you, go ahead and ask your math teacher. It makes sense because they'll be able to tell a 360 view of your character, right? And also try to find teachers that are in your areas of study. So for example, I know Mariana, she wants to do musical theater. And so one thing that would be great if she could ask her theater theater professor, or anyone that has that connection with that area, that will be great. And so they will be able to highlight the abilities on your major. But Erica, I'm majoring in yeah, I want to major in engineering. So like, who should I ask? Should I ask the biology? Should I ask the math? Should I ask the physics teacher? It depends. It depends who you're closest to, but it has to be sort of in the area. So if you're thinking engineering, the STEM fields, technology, think about those teachers. And if you're majoring in the humanities, think about the teachers that are the English teachers, the Portuguese, literature, things like that. Okay. And also it's easier for the teachers to write a letter if you've done a project with them. So if you are a tutor or if you participated in a community project, like I mentioned before, these things help to give them some background information in order to write these letters. Okay. Does that make sense? Are we doing okay? Yes? Okay, good. Now, let me go back to some of these questions right here. So Alfredo asked, does my teacher need to write in English? No. So the program is going to be translating all the recommendation letters that come in Portuguese. The problem is, if you know that your teacher doesn't speak English, make sure that they write in Portuguese, because sometimes when we're writing in another language that we're not familiar with, we lose the emotion of the letter. Okay. So they're not going to be able to transmit every feeling or anything that they really think about you in a clear way. Okay. But for example, if some of you are thinking about asking your English teacher, go ahead. They're probably very familiar with the language and the vocabulary that's necessary to write a recommendation letter. Okay. But there's no need for you to ask a teacher to write in English. Tell them to write in Portuguese and the program will translate it all. Okay. And yes, all of us, Arthur, are going to read our recommendation letter because we're going to have to, we have a system that we are going to put them up at the Common Application platform. And I'm going to explain that a little bit later. Okay. So going back to the presentation, so how can you help your teachers write the best letter that they can? So since, it's not a very common culture here in Brazil, you need to make sure that you sort of guide them through every step of the way, right? So you've read a sample application with some great recommendation letters. There's a lot of samples online, but you need to sort of teach them how to do it, right? So ask them early. So the first thing you need to do is to invite them. So you can explain to them, I'm going through the Opportunity Grant Program. It's a program where I'm going to try to get a full ride to study in the US. And one of the things that they need is a recommendation letter. It's something that's, it's a very Americanized thing. And I would really love if you could be my recommender. And so whenever you're inviting them, say how much you admire them, you appreciate them, and that you've learned from them. And now that you have the opportunity to ask them, you would like to know what they think about you, right? So one of the things I tell my advisees is that whenever they are asking their teachers is to give them little bullet points of the things that you've done throughout high school. So if they know that you've done a project together, yes, that'll be great, but there may be some other things that they don't know that you did. So you need to give them a little reminder of your accomplishments. So academic successes, honors, extracurriculars, some of them probably never seen your transcript and don't know if you've been on the honor roll or what kind of projects you've done outside of their class in their discipline. And so go ahead and give them a little bullet points of things that you have done throughout high school that you think might be good for them to mention on that letter. Okay. And then give them a list of schools that you are applying, just to give them some ideas of how this letter needs to be powerful and needs to be in great language. Okay. And then at the same time, it's interesting for you to mention to them, the outside stuff that it's part of your growth as well, which is any personal issues that have affected you over the secondary years. So for example, if you had a family member that was ill during your sophomore year of high school, and for some reason you were late for some of their classes, or your grades downgraded a little bit, so you can put that down as a bullet point as well, just to remind them of that period, because that way they can think about your character and how you were able to surpass that challenge, right? And I know some of you have long commutes, for example, so you have to take the bus or the subway to get to school. And that's something that it takes a really strong person to do, right? So you can put that down as well. Anything that you think will help them give a good and strong statement about you, you can provide that. Okay. And then obviously choose teachers that definitely will like you. So make sure that you're always thinking about, you can list at least 2 or 3 teachers. Okay. So does that make sense, everyone? This slide right here. Yes. Okay. So you have to really prepare these teachers, right? You have to really make sure that you lay the ground for them. So, And very importantly, you have to ask them early, because we know that, when it comes application time, everyone's going to be scraping for time. So you need to have that ready to go. So you need to be proactive. You need to make sure that the deadlines that you give them are real and it makes sense, right? So whenever I say that for my advisees, make sure that you give them 2 or 3 different deadlines. So you can give them like a closer deadline for them to write a first one and see if they're able to meet that deadline. If not, you say, oh, can you give it to me on July 22nd? And then they can, they haven't sent to you anything yet. You can say, oh, you can just turn it in on the 25th. So make sure, that you talk to them politely, because they are doing, this for you. And so make sure that you're always praising them and making sure that they are aware that this is something that's part of your application, that it needs to go with everything else that you have to do. Okay. So, I would say first for you to talk to them in person if you can, okay? And ask them in person, because I feel like Brazilians like that one-to-one interaction more. And then you can say, I will send you an email with the content that I think will be helpful for you. And then you can reply to that email with the letter on it. Okay. So make sure that you ask first very nicely, be polite, but also be proactive. Okay. For the common application. So what we're going to do, we have a system in which the common application has the part where they're the recommenders part, right? Where you invite, I don't know if all of you have already made an account. And at the common application part, there's a part where it says recommender. So you go and you put their email and you invite them in order to write a recommendation for you. But the thing is, that's not the only thing that the common application does whenever you send this invite. So there are some questions that the teachers answer about you. And so one of the things that could guide them in order to write these letters is this slide right here. So everyone go ahead and take a print screen of the slide, because this will be good for you to sort of brainstorm and send it to them and see what they could write about you. So this could be sort of like a guide to them. Okay. So academic achievement, if you've done any Olympics or things like that, or have you had the highest QR of your classroom, or if you were able to really, get better from the beginning of the semester till the end. Quality of writing. Are you a good writer? Are you creative? Do you do productive discussions in class whenever you have sort of like a Socratic lecture, right? Do you respect the faculty? What kind of maturity do you show during like a challenge in school? Do you have any leadership skills? How do you react to setbacks or, rescheduling of exams, for example? Do you take initiative to help people in your classroom or to start a project early? So all of these things, these ratings are really good that the common application offers whenever the teachers are going to write a recommendation letter. So this will be good to guide them in order to write these letters, okay? And so the evaluations that are available on Common Application is how long have you known the student? What are the first words that come to mind? In which grade level was the student enrolled? So these evaluations are easier to follow in the Common App. And so it gives them a more in-depth information. And so who is going to be answering these evaluations? Your teachers, right? So these questions, we are going to be sending these questions to them, not through the Common App. We're going to be sending these questions through a Google form that the program provides in order for them to answer these in Portuguese, because we know that most teachers do not speak English, and so they will be able to answer all of this in Portuguese, and then we will translate it. Okay, so these are some of the common evaluations / questions that they ask, whenever the recommender page is set up. And so this is basically what it will show there. Okay, and so this is how we're going to do the recommendation letters. They're going to be sending it to you. Okay, so you're going to send an email to them, you're going to invite them in person, send an email with the information, and then they're going to email back that letter. Okay, so how they're going to do that? But it needs to be on papel timbrado, remember? So when they write the letter and they print on papel timbrado, they sign the date, they can scan the letter, send it to you by email, and you are going to upload the letter into the folder that's called teacher/counselor. That folder already exists in your Google Drive folders. Okay, so all those letters are going to go up there. And as soon as you upload the letters, you're going to email Oportunidades Acadêmicas and your advisor saying that the letter is uploaded into the folder. So why do we do it that way? Because we know that sometimes the email from the common application that you request a recommender to send you an evaluation, sometimes it gets lost. Sometimes the teacher doesn't know how to work it because it's in English. So we try to facilitate as much as we can in order for the teacher to be comfortable in sending the letter, and then we can work with it. So what you're going to ask is 2 teacher recommendation letters, okay, and 1 counselor recommendation letter. So the 2 teachers, as we talked about, are teachers that really know you, that you're close to, that like you, that you have a connection, and then 1 counselor recommendation letter. But who can be this counselor, right? It can be, as I said, coordenador, pedagogo, professor coordenador, someone who is involved in the more, how can I say, fugiu a palavra agora. Mas, enfim, this person, right? It's a coordenador. So you have 2 teacher recommendation letters and a counselor recommendation letter. And what are these forms? So we have these online forms that we're going to provide to the teacher. Okay, it's going to be in Portuguese. And so the questionnaire that I mentioned before with these are the evaluations, right? So these questions are the Google forms that we're going to send the counselors. They're going to fill it out. And as soon as they fill it out, we'll put that in English into the common application in your profiles. Okay, so this is how it's going to work. The process of working with the letters. Does that make sense for everyone? This slide right here, does that make sense? Everybody understood the process, yes? Okay, great. So this is how you're going to be uploading. So take a snapshot of this screen. This is how you're going to be uploading these letters, okay? So teacher 1, there's going to be there the recommendation letter, and we're going to be saving the Google form. So for example, the name, surname, document, OPP 2018. So if we're talking about Gabriel Negrão's letter, we're going to go Gabriel Negrão, carta, recommendation, name of the teacher, opportunity 2018. Okay? So that's how it's going to be working up top. So every time you need to make sure that you have this correct. Okay? Okay. let's go through the questions then. Let me see. Just a second. I have to scroll up a little bit. Okay, when is the best month? I'm going to tell you about the deadline soon. Okay, at the end of the presentation. Mariana, the same. You guys are rushing. Can the counselor be my advisor? Arthur, no. The problem is you need to find someone at your school. Okay? Mariana, can it be the coordinator of the Department of English of the school, for example? Yes, it can be. Gabriel Negrão, I thought the counselor needed to be the school director. No, it doesn't need to be the school director because the school director, he probably hasn't had interaction with you in the classroom, right? Unless I'm completely wrong and he teaches classes. It needs to be someone that's close to you. Okay. Even if for the coordinator, oh, excuse me, I said the wrong thing. You said about school director. So the counselor needs to be the coordinator of the classes that the teachers are teaching because the coordinator has a lot of contact with the teachers, and then they will be able to provide more examples of your academic abilities because they do have access to all of your grades and your teachers and the feedback that they receive from them. Okay, so the counselor, it's not the school director. It's usually a coordinator, pedagogo, someone like that. Okay. Can I ask my teacher of extracurricular activities to write a recommendation letter? Sure, Marina, as long as this person can give examples about you and talk about your academic side as well. Okay, so it needs to make sure you need to make sure that you have, this person is not going to write only about your projects. It's going to write also about your academic performance. Okay. What if my coordinator is a múmia na escola e não conhece ninguém? I'm sorry, but that doesn't extinguish this person for being. You can ask someone else. Isn't there another coordinator or a pedagogo, psicólogo, someone like that? There must be someone else, Arthur. No? Okay. All right. There you go. You can do that. You can ask them. Okay? Coordenador de curso is fine. Okay. Any questions about recommendation letters? So I'm gonna run through it again, okay? Just to make sure it's fixed in your mind. So first, you're gonna go ask them in person, be polite, smile, say they're going through this whole process, that you're a really good student, blah, 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 that you love Erica and Simone and Desiree. And then you're gonna go and send an email with some points for you to guide them, right, through the process. And then as soon as you're also in this email, you're going to give them deadlines, right? The deadline to give you back the letter in Portuguese, it needs to be on papel timbrado da escola with all the information. It needs to have the date, the signature, their position, right? And then once this letter is done, they're going to give it to you. You're going to scan it, put it in your folder according to the lovely folder in each one of your Google Drives, and then you're going to email us, let us know that this letter is up there. Okay, and then you're going to save it like that. So moving on to school profile. Can anyone tell me what a school profile is? Abrão, the principal of my school doesn't teach, but she knows me. But how close is she, Abrão, to you? Does she just waves at you whenever she's going by the corridor, kind of like glee? Or does she really interact with you? She knows all the projects that you've done. It needs to be someone that's very close to you and knows of your accomplishments, your academic achievements, okay? Outside and inside the classroom. Okay. Let's go back to the question. So what is a school profile? How does this help my application? Do we have people in the room? Hello? Gabriel Negrão, I'm not sure. Okay. It's a document that serves to explain the school profile, including the history, the curriculum, and grade system. Very good, Artur. Very nice. Your advisor must be doing a good job. Okay, so yeah, that's basically what it is, you guys. It's going to show the university where you're coming from, right? And what's the grading system? How strong is your school? So every student here is going to work on their own school profile. Okay, so usually the school is the one that provides this document and it comes with a lot of information on it, but most schools don't have this. So think of it as a early Christmas gift that you're doing to the school. You're going to be actively working on gathering information about your school so that because this needs to go on the common application. Okay, so it can give them some background about the admissions office. It can give them some background about, how is the grading system? How difficult are the levels of the subjects that you're taking, and etc. And so the file that you're going to be preparing, oops, sorry, let's go back. Oops. It's going to be in English, covers most of the information requested, right? Ah, mas a minha escola não tem ranking, eles não fazem nada disso. No need. You can just mention that there's no rankings or things like that, okay? But what is the grading system? Is it A to E? Is it 0 to 100? Is it 0 to 10? Does it have AP classes, advanced placement? And where can you look into this information? If the school has a website, wonderful. You can gather most of that information on there. If you don't have all of that information, you can look at your históricos and you can see information about the school, address, things like that. Or you can ask the coordinator of your school for some of this information. So here is an example of graded school, Escola Graduada de São Paulo. And so this is part of the school profile. So as you can see up top, it has the information of the location, right? Phone number, if it has the website, it has the little logo here, okay? It also has the high school profile. So who are the coordinators? Is there like a department specific for high school? Who are the directors and things like that? Okay. What is the grade point average? Obviously, there's no GPA in Brazilian schools. So what is the grading system in general? Okay, so here's where you talk about, is it 0 to 10? Is it, how is it calculated and things like that. It talks about the school community or the history of the school. So how many years the school it has been active? Is there any specific accreditation? How many students go to the school? Is there a diverse group of students, or if it's just from that region? Who are the faculty? Okay, what are they like? Are they doctors? Are they masters? Are there assistant teachers and things like that? Also, a grade distribution is helpful so they can see, in general, what is the class profile is, okay? And so these are just really good information that you can put on a school profile. Another one that I would recommend for you to take a look is Chapel. Chapel School in São Paulo. They have a really good one on their website, and they're able. You can pull information from different sites and combine everything into one school profile. Okay, so just general information. You're going to see that some of these profiles have, where did the students went after they graduated high school? You don't need to put that down. Especially if you come from like a public school that doesn't have any sort of like exchange programs or nothing like that. Okay, so you don't need to be specific about that. So Gabrielle, will I need to write my grades or just attach the script? No. So you're not going to put down your grades, Gabrielle. These are just the grades in general. Okay. So does your school do what is the grading system? How are you all evaluated? It's not about you, it's the school profile. So we're talking about what is the grading system? 0 to 10. Okay, so what is the average, the mean for you to pass the class? Is it 5? Is it 6? You know, um, that's what I mean. Camilo, what if I study in more than one school during the 4 years of high school? So you're going to put down for your high school. Do I need to do 2 school profiles? No, you're just going to do the last one, the one that you're currently in. Okay, that's it. Any questions about the school profile, you guys? This is very different. It's good to give sort of like a base and background information where you're coming from. So as you can see, this is a holistic thing, the application process. They want to see everything. And so questions about school profile? Did you understand? You can ask specifically for the school profile, you can ask for help from your advisors, okay? All of us deal with school profiles. We sometimes teach a school how to build their own. We've done that here in São Paulo for a few schools for them to know. Oh, there's a good one that you probably can take a look is Escola Mobile. I think they finished their school profile already. It's up on their website, and we were the ones that helped them do this one. So definitely take a look at that one. And if you guys have any questions, you can definitely let us know. Okay. Okay, hang on. We will create this document and make them sign it. No, so this document, Artur, think of this document as a school profile transcript. It's something public that if you were to upload this, it will be on your high school page. So it's something that's public and anyone can have access to it. It doesn't need to be signed. It just needed the information from the school. So the teacher information, coordinator, all this information that's on the screen right there. Okay. Nara. Oi, Nara. Can we advisors use the school profiles we have in? Of course. If you can most definitely do that because it will help them in create their own. Okay. Artur, what part you didn't get? Vitor, does the school profile need to have a standard style or we can kind of be creatives or remembering to put on the correct. So you don't want to like do a school profile that's very full of designy things. I know you guys want to go crazy with this one, but it needs to be a formal document that has all the information and it's not too carnaval. Okay, so it needs to be a little bit formal, but it can be in the format that you want. But as long as I have the important information there, and ask for help from your advisors on this one because they'll be able to give you examples and share the ones that are available. Okay. Questions, Artur? I also had this doubt. Do I need to show to my school what I'm writing about them in the school profile? Hang on. Let me see. This is good. Do I need to show to my school what I'm writing about them in the school profile? I mean, if you want to, you can open and tell them that you're going through this process with EducationUSA, and this is something that they can keep afterwards. And if they want to help you gather the information, you can definitely invite the school to participate if they're willing to. But just beware that they're not responsible for doing the school profile. Okay, this is something that we're asking of you. If your school already has a school profile ready to go in English, amazing. That would be great, right? You just need to make sure that the information is up to date and it's from the current year. Because what happens is, as you can see here on this page, we have the 2014-2015 high school profile, right? So we're talking about a few years ago. So the information needs to be up to date, okay? But if your school doesn't have the school profile, you can help them set that up, and you can open that and say, hey, do you want to help me? I'm creating a school profile. It's something I need for my application. It'd be grateful you could help gather some of the information. So you can open that to them, Gabriel. No problem at all. Okay? This could be your legacy. Our tour, we will offer the school profile we created to us. You can, most definitely. As I told you, like a legacy. Yes, I understood. I'll fill out everything. Yes. So you can create, like a little pattern, 2 columns and on a page, and fill out with different information in different formats. And it needs to contain, the information that's viable, that's useful to a university, right? Whenever you're looking at your grades. Any more questions about school profile? How are we doing? We're doing okay? I've graduated in the last year, so I need to write to 2016-17. Abrão. Good question, Abrão. Good question. So because you graduated from last year in your gap year, you can write it for last year, okay? Because they're going to be looking at the grades from your transcript from last year, right? No problem. Any more questions about the school profile? No? Okay. So print screen again. I'm going to send this on the follow-up email, but just want to make sure you have all the deadlines here for all the rushy ones that wanted the deadlines. So all documents are to be uploaded to your folder and send email to your advisor in Oportunidades Acadêmicas informando that you have done these, okay? So recommendation letters, September 10th, okay? So you have about, let's say, 2 months. Yes, 2 months to invite your recommenders, talk to your teachers, prepare them about this. We know everyone's on vacation right now, but whenever you get back, you can talk to them and ask them, okay? If you are close to them and you meet up at the mall or you esbarram com eles durante as férias, you can sort of start talking to them, okay? But it's good to do like a formal invitation later. Teacher counselor form. So we're going to send this form to you in the first week of August so you can send that to your teachers, okay? And the deadline for them to complete this is also September 10th. See, we're making your life easier. Everything is on September 10th. And then the school profile is also on September 10th. So how can you organize yourself to make sure that you get all this done? So now that you're on vacation, what's the easiest thing for you to do that's it's on your hands is the school profile, right? You can gather all this information, and then whenever you go back to school, you can just make sure that you have the correct and up-to-date information by just checking with the secretaria or the coordinator to make sure that's the information you want to put down. And then the other things are things that you can definitely start talking to your teachers about, or the first day you go back to school, that's when you really need to make sure that you're inviting them, okay, and give them deadlines. So let's see. No questions. Oh, Victor just said, geez, we'll be in December in a little while. Yes, we're already almost there, halfway there. So September 10th, you can't not forget this date, okay? So all of these documents are going to be uploaded to your folder. Questions about this homework? Any questions? No? So what happens to my recommendation letters once I've turned them in? So what we're going to do, as I told you, for the teachers that have not written in English, we're going to translate them, transform into PDF, and we're going to upload them into the common application of each one of you. Okay. Should I add recommender and counselor emails to the common app? How many of you have created an account on common application? All of you already have one? Good, Marina. Everyone signed up? Vitor, what are you waiting for? Gabriel, Come on. So you guys can create your common application account. No problem. You can sign up for it. Okay. And you can start browsing through it. Take a look at what it is. There's a part where it says recommender. Okay. Where you're going to add emails to ask your teachers to write recommendations for you. But that part you're not going to touch. Okay. So that part, it pretend that it doesn't exist. You can create your account into the common application, but that part, don't do anything with it. Okay. The recommendation letter, you're going to ask your teacher in person, send them an email, with the deadline for them to give it to you. And then you're going to scan and send and put that into the folder. So we're going to do that little system. It's a little different because the coordination is going to have access to your common application account in order to make sure that everything is right whenever we send in all the applications. Okay, so don't worry, all the letters, they have to be turned in on September 10th because we're going to translate everything, put them into the right format for the common application, and then when the application is all ready to go, you finished all your essays, everything will be sent at once. Okay? Questions? No? I haven't created it because according to it, we must create the Common App account on August 1st. Sure, that's fine. If the calendar says that, let's live by the calendar, right? Or otherwise, Simone is going to kill me after she listens to this. Go ahead and create it. Yeah, I know. It's kind of like being a Gemini, bipolarish, right? That's fine. You can wait until August 1st because that's when everything is updated in the Common Application platform. Every year they do that. So they sort of do like a nice cleanup because the dates that you're going to see whenever you're adding colleges to your profile are the dates for this past year. So it might confuse you a little bit. Okay, so you can definitely wait until August 1st because all the information will be fresh and it will be correct with the year that we're going to apply to, which is 2019, whenever you guys go in September 2019. Okay. All right. Well, queridos, this was the session for today. I don't think I have anything anymore. Does anyone want me to go back to any slide specifically? Everybody understood everything? Anybody want to say something? Do you want me to turn on your mics or do you want to just write it here? Nope. It will be easier if I create the school profile. Let's see. Oh, Vitor, you have to create the school profile in English. That's what it is. School profile should be in English, okay? This one, the opportunity program is not going to translate. The only thing we're going to translate from these forms is what? The recommendation letter from your teachers and coordinators who don't speak Portuguese and are not comfortable writing in English, okay? Then we'll translate it for them. So the school profile that you're creating is going to be in English, okay? Okay, great. Any questions? I think I have some doubts. I'll watch the session again. Okay, Gabriel, do that. The slides are good to use as a reference. I'm going to be converting the video today, hopefully under an hour because sometimes my internet's very slow. And I'll surely be sending the follow-up email by tomorrow morning, the latest. Okay? Yes. Do you want me to go through the slides? I can do that. I can go back to the slides really quick. So here's the letter of recommendation. It needs to be on papel timbrado, okay? Needs to have a data. Não pode especificar qualquer tipo de escola, então vocês têm que colocar to whom it may concern, é uma maneira de endereçar uma carta em inglês que é mais geral. ok? Essa carta ela precisa estar assinada, datada, tá? Lá em cima, como eu disse para vocês, e precisa ter a posição do professor. Precisa ter a informação de quem escreveu. Se for coordenador, o coordenador do departamento de inglês, o professor de matemática, o tutor de atividades extracurriculares, precisa dizer qual que é a posição dessa pessoa, tá? Nessa carta de recomendação, ela precisa ser assim, global, como eu gosto de chamar. Vai falar dos seus academic achievements, de como você é como pessoa, né? E como isso contribui para que você possa para a sala de aula e para a escola, né? Quais são as suas contribuições? E aí, como que isso traduz, como eu estava dizendo, isso traduz para o Admissions Officer um pouquinho das suas notas, de como que você é no application, das suas essays, então mostra um outro lado seu, tá? E aí aqui que a gente fala, para quem que você deve, né, pedir essa carta? Então, são pessoas que você tem um relacionamento próximo, pessoas que realmente conhecem da sua trajetória acadêmica, dos projetos que você já participou, dentro e fora da sala de aula, enfim. Não pode ter o nome da escola, mas o papel timbado não pode ter o nome da universidade, tá? Porque quando a gente está falando, Gabriel, olha, to whom it may concern, a gente está falando para quem, a quem possa interessar. É basicamente isso. O nome da escola sua aqui no Brasil tem que estar lá, tá? Essa carta está vindo do professor dessa escola, então por isso tem que ser um papel timbrado. Agora a gente não vai colocar to whom it may concern, a gente não vai colocar assim Dear Harvard, Dear Yale, a gente não coloca isso, tá? Porque vão para várias universidades. Isso mesmo, Ana Luísa. Great. Que mais aqui? How can you help your teachers? Então, como eu disse para vocês, nessa partezinha é legal vocês realmente colocarem em bullet points o que vocês já fizeram, né? Quais foram os seus accomplishments? Participaram de Olimpíada, fizeram algum community project, fizeram algum projeto dentro da escola que foi legal, alguma atividade extracurricular, você já foi para o quadro de honra da escola? O que mais você fez? Então é legal você dar esse background information, porque às vezes o professor não sabe de tudo que você participou. E aí na hora que ele for escrever essa carta, esses exemplos das atividades que vocês participaram vão ser muito bem-vindos, porque daí vai dar embasamento legal para que eles consigam realmente identificar os pontos fortes. Tá bom? E também não esquecer de mencionar alguns desafios. Então, se você, como eu disse, passou por alguma doença na família, ou até você mesmo teve que se afastar da escola por um tempo, ou se as suas notas caíram, qual que foi o motivo, né, desse decrease, e aí o que vocês fizeram para melhorar depois. Então, assim, você não vai escrever a carta para o professor e nem para o coordenador. Você vai dar apenas alguns exemplos e um guidance, né? Alguns bullet points que vão servir para que eles possam falar de vocês. E aí você tem que colocar um deadline. Então, se o seu deadline é dia 10 de setembro, né? E muitos de vocês vão voltar no final de julho para as aulas, é legal vocês falarem já na primeira semana, né? Para que vocês não tenham que ficar correndo em cima deles e pressionando, tá bom? Claro, sempre agradecer, porque eles vão estar fazendo um favorzão para vocês em relação ao application, tá? Então, o formulário que a gente vai enviar para vocês enviarem para os professores de vocês, vão falar sobre essas partezinhas aqui, né? De como vocês são, academic achievement, leadership, integrity, reaction, enfim. E aí tem essas perguntinhas que a gente vai traduzir para o português, para que eles consigam também discorrer um pouquinho sobre essa parte. O written evaluation é diferente da carta de recomendação, porque o written evaluation é uma coisa um pouquinho mais curta. Tá? E a carta de recomendação é uma carta, geralmente é uma página que o professor fala, tá? Então, Vitor, respondendo a sua pergunta, é uma página geralmente, tá? E aí, a gente vai trabalhar dessa maneira, tá? A gente vai pegar essa carta que vocês vão colocar lá no folder de vocês, que já existe, o Teacher Counselor. Aí essa carta de papel timbrado, assinada, tudo certinho, a gente vai traduzir, né? Deixar ela bonitinha para depois colocar no Common Application de vocês, tá? E aí vocês vão salvar dessa maneira aqui, então tira aí um print screen para vocês saberem como é que vocês vão fazer, tá? Para salvar essa carta quando vocês tiverem elas em mãos, tá bom? E aí o School Profile, como eu disse para vocês, cada um vai fazer o seu, tem que ser em inglês, informações importantes e relevantes que vocês deveriam colocar, né? Essas informações geralmente estão no próprio site do colégio de vocês, e se eles não têm site nem nada, você pode achar na secretaria da escola, tá? E aí aqui tem um exemplo que é da Graded, eu dei 2 exemplos aqui, vocês podem dar uma olhada, que é da Chapel School de São Paulo e também da Mobile, tá? Eles têm informações legais que vocês podem colocar que vai ajudar vocês na construção da sua, tá bom? E aí o homework, fiz que esse aqui, que todos esses documentos precisam ser enviados para a gente até dia 10. E não esperem o último minuto, tá, gente? Porque imagine, em setembro, vocês já vão estar com um Common Application, vocês já vão estar fazendo Common Application, colocando as informações lá, vocês vão estar trabalhando nas Supplemental Essays. Então, assim, tem muita coisa que vai começar a acumular. E a gente brasileiro tem essa o péssimo hábito, né, de deixar tudo para a última hora. Então tem coisas aqui que vocês já podem começar a trabalhar agora nas férias, como o School Profile, que eu disse para vocês, e aí vocês já conseguem realmente melhorar isso, tá? E deixar isso tudo tinindo, pedir ajuda dos seus advisors, que eles também têm essa experiência de montar, ou pelo menos guiá-los nisso, tá bom? Então não deixem para a última hora, gente, porque quando começar a acumular, aí a gente começa a ficar desesperado, estressado. Então por isso que a gente já está fazendo essa sessão agora, para justamente vocês já se prepararem. Coloca aí na agenda de vocês, no calendário, para vocês justamente não se desesperarem, tá bom? E aí a gente vai traduzir as cartas que chegarem em português e colocamos ela em PDF, que é o formato lá que o Common Application aceita, ok? Então eu fiz aí rapidão em português, que é muito mais fácil, acho que fica mais fácil de vocês assimilarem, né? Exatamente, Gabriel. E o ACT é em setembro, que a gente vai fazer o segundo workshop, né? Provavelmente vai ser no feriado, acho que está no calendário lá, não provavelmente, será no feriado do dia 7 de setembro, aqui em São Paulo. Mas aí a gente vai falar sobre isso um pouquinho mais para frente, tá bom? Questions? Any more questions, you guys? Now is the time. Sim, vamos ter outro workshop, isso é fato. A gente sempre faz 2. E o segundo workshop vai ser muito mais focado em writing, tá? Que é a parte mais pesada do application no segundo semestre. Anybody else? Simone não pôde estar com vocês hoje, porque amanhã ela está viajando. Ela vai para uma conferência nos Estados Unidos, onde ela vai estar visitando algumas universidades e falando do programa de oportunidades também acadêmicas. E a gente está sempre se atualizando, gente. Como vocês podem ver, a gente tenta sempre estar buscando informações com as próprias universidades para que a gente possa estar abrangendo esse leque aí de conhecimento, tá? Então, ela não vai estar. Tem problema de pedir a letter agora via rede social? Olha, Ana, eu acho que é um pouco. Vocês têm que tomar um pouquinho de cuidado em relação a isso de rede social. O que você pode mandar é talvez um convite, me informar e falar: olha, fulano, estou aplicando, nanã, gostaria de falar com você na volta das aulas sobre uma carta de recomendação que gostaria que você escrevesse. Meio que só dá uma introdução. Eu acho que esse convite não deve ser feito totalmente pelo Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp que vocês têm, tá? Eu acho que vocês têm que dar uma seguradinha nisso aí para não ficar também too informal, sabe assim? Enfim, mas se vocês já quiserem dar uma avisadinha, tudo bem, não tem problema, tá? E uma coisa, gente, importante que eu esqueci de mencionar, muitos dos seus professores vão falar assim: escreve aí, que aí eu assino, vou datar e tudo bem. A gente sabe os alunos que fazem isso, a gente consegue ver pelo estilo de escrita, e aí a gente não vai aceitar essa carta, tá? E isso é muito sério, não é ético, né? Então você precisa pensar bem para quem que você vai pedir essa carta para justamente isso não acontecer e você ficar na mão, tá bom? Vamos ver aqui. Vai todo mundo estar nesse workshop ou vai depender das notas do ACT? Brão, é bem isso. Então, a gente, assim que saírem as notas do ACT, a gente vai avaliar e aí a gente sabe que o programa tem a cota. E aí vamos ver, né, gente? A gente vai ver. Eu quero que todo mundo volte, né? Essa é de verdade o meu desejo. Mas vamos aguardar quando saírem as notas, tá bom? Também não acho muito bom, só que de agosto tem meu professor de teatro, está muito ocupado. Exatamente, Ana Luísa. Então, é legal você já dar essa entrada para ela, e aí no final de julho, começo de agosto, assim que você voltar do summer, você já fala para ela, tá? No comecinho de agosto, ver se ela consegue escrever para você, e aí você coloca lá no folder, tá bom? Mais alguma pergunta, gente? Não? Então tá bom. Bom, vou terminar aqui a sessão. Espero que vocês tenham gostado hoje. Eu sei que essa é uma parte meio chatinha, mas é uma das partes que pesam bastante no application e muitas vezes a decisão é, é, é muito assim do feeling, né, do que a pessoa lê naquela carta de recomendação, porque as notas podem estar maravilhosas, mas aquele depoimento daquele professor, do coordenador, pode ser um make it or break it, né? Então é muito importante que essas cartas sejam levadas a sério e que vocês realmente consigam aí convidar os professores com que vocês têm mais esses laços e possam falar de vocês, tá bom? Vou me despedir aqui, obrigada a todos que participaram hoje e até a próxima sessão, que é no dia 17 de julho. Para alguns eu sei que vão estar no summer, então boa viagem, curtam bastante e enquanto isso, ó, escrever esse Common App Essay aí e vamos focar, tá bom? Light it up! Beijo!